Welcome to today's edition of the AI watching stock news, deal tracker, and advancements in artificial intelligence. This is a special edition of the AI in which we speak to Russ McMeekin, the CEO of Universal mCloud Corp. Universal mCloud is an artificial intelligence and analytics IoT-connected AssetCare cloud solution company utilizing connected IoT devices, AI, deep energy analytics, secure mobile, and 3D technologies. Universal mCloud is traded on the TSXV under the ticker symbol MCLD and on the OTC under the ticker symbol MCLDF.
Russ, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So the company has announced the smart building segment of the AssetCare platform. Before we get into that, can you give our listeners sort of an overview of your AI technology with your previous agreement relating to oil and gas applications and then leading up to the most recent news of targeting energy efficiency?
Yep. So the actual foundation was actually originally built off of energy efficiency for buildings. It just is a continuum to oil and gas, and the recent release is a further enhancement and expansion of the AI. What we've found in the last 18 months of being kind of full functioning company is our AI, as it expands, has direct applicability to a lot of assets and therefore the growth. So oil and gas is a major segment, and the AI fits perfectly. And buildings, as you mentioned, is also a recent announcement and something we're very well suited for.
Let's dive right in. Talk about the tech involved in smart buildings, specifically about how the use of IoT, cloud computing, and AI can reduce energy waste in commercial buildings by as much as 20%.
So in the building, there are thermostats. That's kind of the workhorse of the IoT. You replace kind of not IoT thermostats with smart thermostats or IoT thermostats. Those are connectable either through 4G, 5G, LTE, Wi-Fi, directly to the cloud. That's how we get the data. That's how we configure it. The AI learns the behavior of the building by its size, by the outdoor temperatures. So the AI is trained to get really smart on the behaviors of the building from the data it has, and uses the thermostat as data feed and then as the control device to optimize the building. So in real time, buildings get optimized to use less energy. So as occupancy varies, as outdoor temperature varies, peak demand charges during the day, they rise. Provinces like British Columbia, states like California, they have peak demand charges for excessive use at certain times of day. The AI optimizes it and drives savings. So that's how it works.
And tell listeners about the zero upfront subscription model that the company is employing with the project and how it will lead to a highly scalable revenue stream.
Yeah, so it's a cell phone style model. So when you go get a cell phone, an iPhone 10, or you sign up to a 3-year subscription. You don't buy the iPhone 10, you get a 3-year subscription. When we sell through TELUS or a number of our partners, China, US, the IoT hardware is part of the subscription. So the customer shows us their last energy consumption for the last year, you know, the size of the building, the outdoor temperature behaviors from last year. So we can make sure there's enough savings in there so that the CapEx is negligible, so you don't even see it. It's part of the subscription. So you immediately start seeing a net reduction in cost that's far greater than your subscription fee, so you're cash flow positive from the onset.
So apart from saving the business's money, in what ways can AssetCare bring kind of palpable benefits to the customer experience in a building?
Yeah, so obviously optimizing around comfort is a big thing. So you set the policy, you'll make sure that that occurs. Maintenance, so think of a rooftop unit as kind of being the heart of the building in terms of how it behaves. When we connect to it, we see odd behaviors typically means there's maintenance requirements. So before things break, a big customer of ours is Cinemark. Obviously, bad behavior of HVAC during a top movie, during a blockbuster movie is not a good idea. So it sees, the data shows that behaviors are about to change in the assets. So before failure occurs, maintenance can begin. So it tends to have, certainly in Bank of America, Cinemark, a lot of our customers, it drives preventative maintenance so people can see from the cloud, from the data, what's going on. So as the people in the building, you don't see disruption. That's the key part. From a maintenance perspective, you're fixing what could break before it does break, and that's the kind of the magic behind it.
To give listeners an idea of the rollout for the smart building segment in the coming months.
Yeah, so we already have, over 20,000 connected assets in the smart building space. Our president, Dave Weinerth of that group, is all over the place. I think next week he's in British Columbia. Last week he was in Ontario. He's in California a lot. That's where he resides. So we have a lot of backlog in the smart building space in Canada, United States, primarily in California. That's our biggest market of the 20,000 connected assets. We went live in China about a month ago. That's growing. That will grow significantly. Shopping malls is a big smart building space for us there. So it's pretty much a global play with a pretty strong pull from us into those markets, and AI is a perfect fit. So, and the IoT is the same, regardless if you're a bank, a mall, McDonald's, Starbucks. The IoT devices, the smart thermostats, are identical.
And do you have any final thoughts to leave listeners before we wrap up?
I would say AI is now real. It's being used in real applications, buildings, wind turbines, oil and gas applications. So you hear a lot about self-driving cars. That's kind of the thought mover in terms of the technology, but we're right behind it in terms of use case, and we're driving today very substantial savings with big brand names like Bank of America, Starbucks, Lockheed Martin, big brand names. So it's real. So AI is no longer on the come. It's definitely very real, and it's being actioned as we speak.
And that's it for today's AI. If you would like to be a guest or sponsor for this podcast, contact Investorideas.com. Investorideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the Investorideas.com website. And this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded all investment involves risk and possible loss of investment. To hear more Investorideas.com podcasts, please visit Investorideas.com/audio. And a reminder, you can also hear our podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio.com, and Google Play Music. To learn more about Universal mCloud, please visit mCloudCorp.com. And for disclosure purposes, this is a paid podcast by Universal mCloud.